Great. All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 18th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. If everyone would please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is our Vice President, Gary Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis and Dawn Houston, our Assistant Administrator? Deputy Administrator. I'll get the titles right one of these days.
Keep up with them.
It is. Deputy Administrator, and Sarah DeNova is our clerk today, so we can begin.
Resolution number 17-1320, in the matter of approving the electronic record of the proceedings from regular meeting held December 14th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1320. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
We have no public or elected comment this morning, but we do have a tribute to Madge Conklin.
Yes, we do. As everyone knows, I'm sure Madge Conklin passed away a week ago, last Sunday, so a little over a week ago, and she had been a public servant for many, many years in the area, and we all obviously want to express our deep regrets to her family. I'm glad that you're able to join us today. And we do have a tribute that we prepared that we would that I would like to read on behalf of my fellow commissioners, if that's all right. Okay. From the County of Delaware Office of the Commissioners, tribute. Be it hereby known to all that Jeff Benton, Gary Merrill, and Barb Lewis, Commissioners of Delaware County, wish to express their gratitude and admiration for Madge Conklin. We honor Madge upon her passing for her decades of public service to the residents of Delaware County. She served as County Treasurer from 1968 to 1989 and as Deputy Treasurer from 1958 to 1968, and was famous for hosting an open house in the Treasurer's office every election night. Madge was a member of the Delaware County Republican Central Committee and the Delaware County Women's Republican Club for more than 30 years and was involved in many campaigns, including those for John Kasich and Patrick Teaberry. She was a resident of Delaware County for more than 65 years. Commissioner Benton, Commissioner Merrill, and Commissioner Lewis mourn the passing of such a great public servant, but also express their gratitude for all that Madge Conklin did in her lifetime. Presented on this 18th day, December 2017, by order of the Commissioners. So, again, we're glad to be able to recognize her, and we will all miss her. I didn't know if any of the family wanted to say anything formally or not, but...
Carol Lee Conklin, granddaughter of Madge Conklin. First and foremost, I want to thank the commissioners for taking time out of their busy schedule to arrange this tribute for my grandmother. As most of you know, she was a dedicated public servant for many, many years, both in political and volunteer work. She also did a lot of volunteer work with the Farm Bureau, Meals on Wheels, members of numerous boards around the county, and just had a really positive impact on the people that she met. Haven't met anyone that has said anything, oh, I remember Madge, she did this, she did that. She was always, doing everything that she could for her community and this county. And we just want to thank you again for taking the time out of your schedules to honor her today.
Yep. Glad to, and yes, thank you. If anybody else has any remarks, okay, you may want to write about it in the Gazette, one of these, all your mother-in-law's contributions. Yeah. So, okay. Do we want to get a picture, Jane? All right. Well, we do have a actual bound copy of the tribute. If that's all right, we'll take a picture. Record of public service continues.
Is it one more? All right, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're so sorry. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Retired deputy, plus I do all the contracting for the county for snow removal, road mowing. Lauren, L-O-R-N-E-O-O-L, like Sweden.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, we'll put something on.
Hey, Chris.
That's okay.
How are you, Lauren? I'm doing great. How are you? Good. Good to see you. It's good to be seen. Yes. Good to see you too. Everybody doing okay?
Pat needs a good job, and she's a good worker. And so I asked her if she was interested, and then we came to Mr. Williamson, the wrong Fraser. Williamson, he lives there. Here, behind me. Yeah, but he lives, I sort of lived in the house there. Offices are anyway, we sat on the front porch, we talked, and he said, "You want to come to listen to me?" And she said, "Yes." Oh, so she had a job with the county, and the rest is history.
Got back and married off this summer. Yeah.
What a sweet.
I think so too.
Oh, that we had
She's,
And George said, "Well, I have a son, I'm Katie's husband, and you're always father." Oh, she was like, yes. Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, my God. Small
yeah, it happens, but I lose track of your phone.
Oh, yes, that's another story. There's a younger person. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. Yeah. Now you've got a few strokes. I think you can have a lot. No, I love your comments. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll let you go.
Same old thing.
People.
Yes.
Nice people. Good
Yes,
people, good
yes.
people. All the years of public service and work
Yeah.
in the community.
Right,
That's
right.
what makes Delaware so neat.
It really is.
And not to lose that either. It's important. So,
I had forgotten that Carol Lee had one. Almost one. Yeah.
wow. Oh, I did too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think. Maybe it was Andy, I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was back in that
Okay.
transition somewhere along the way.
Yeah, shoot. Okay. Well, Dawn, it's so good to see you. I know. You've changed. Yeah.
Trying to upgrade for you
Yeah.
guys.
All right, well, again, thanks to the Conklin family and great family.
Yes.
A lot of years of great public service to Delaware County. Just one of the great stories, one of the neat stories. All right, so we will continue.
Okay. Resolution number 17-1321, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates, and payments of warrants and batch numbers CMA PR 1215, memo transfers, and batch numbers MTA PR 1215.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-1321. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1322, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-1322. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1323, in the matter of authorizing the accepting of an award from Source Point of Delaware County for the Guardianship Visitation Program and the Tours Program Grant for the Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile and Probate Court. This is our 2018 Source Point Grant. The first one covers our Guardianship Visitor Program. This is where we have a visitor go into the homes of our wards. And then the second is our TROR program, taking the youth out into the community and providing hours of service to do either their community service or some of their restitution work.
All right. Any questions? We'll take a vote. I don't know what Shane's doing here.
Vote on motion 17-1323. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis? Aye. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1324, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is our restitution fund. In the past month alone, we've been able to recoup about $1,800 from youth offenders, and we'd like to go ahead and return that to the victims before the close of the year.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1324. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill? Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Resolution number 17-1325, in the matter of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners reappointing a county prevention specialist to the Ohio Children's Trust Fund, Central Ohio Abuse and Child Neglect Regional Prevention Council.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Communications Manager. This is for the Delaware County Family and Children First Council. Sandy Honigford has been one of our representatives on that board, and we recommend I believe it goes recommendation for reappointment, and then we send it on to the Ohio Children's Trust Fund for the actual appointment to be made. So,
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1325. Mrs. Lewis? Aye. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1326, in the matter of appointing Mindy Yoakum to the Delaware County Public Defender Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
for this one, we recommend that you appoint Mindy Yoakum to the Public Defender Commission. We had several candidates, and she seemed to be the best by far, so we recommend your approval.
Yeah, I guess just a comment. She was very impressive, but also there was a Dispatch article that came out
I think it's
few days
Friday,
after-
or Thursday, yeah.
a few days after she interviewed, and it was talking about her commitment to indigent defense and victims' rights and so on. So it was very interesting, very timely, and she's got a personal side to that passion that she has developed over the years. So anyway, again, glad to have her apply and glad to appoint her.
She was enthusiastic and
Very well qualified.
Very well.
Yeah. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1326. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17-1327, in the matter of approving the plats of subdivision for Olentangy Falls East, Section 2, and Glenmead, Section 1, Phase B.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. These two subdivision plats have been approved by all the required agencies. Olentangy Falls East, Section 2 includes 21 single-family lots, and Glenmead, Section 1B includes 30 lots.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1327. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1328, in the matter of establishing a maintenance bond and returning construction bond for Clarkshaw Moore, Section 2, and establishing a maintenance bond for Olentangy Falls, Olentangy Falls East, Section 2.
So moved.
Discussion?
The street and stormwater work on these two subdivisions was completed this fall. Our staff has inspected the work, and we are recommending placing those improvements on the one-year developer maintenance period and returning the construction bond for Clarkshaw Moores. That is a 31-lot subdivision, and then the 21 lots in Olentangy Falls East.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1328. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1329, in the matter of approving a stormwater maintenance agreement between the City of Powell, the Delaware County Commissioners, and Liberty Township trustees for Hunter's Bend.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
As part of the construction of the reserve at Sida Glen, which is inside the city of Powell, it was necessary for the developer to tie into an existing storm sewer system outside the city limits. So basically what this agreement says is that the city will maintain those portions of the storm sewer that were extended and tied into the existing system outside the city, and that the city will comply with all the necessary requirements and regulations. And then if in the future the township or county for any reason would need to tie into those improvements, we would be able to do that upon notification to the Powell City Engineer.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1329. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1330, in the matter of approving a contribution in aid of construction agreement with Ohio Power for installation of overhead lines on Highland Lakes Avenue in conjunction with DEL-CR 013-2.66.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This agreement is in relation to the new traffic signal we'll be installing this winter at the intersection of Worthington Road and Highland Lakes Avenue. There was some additional work above and beyond what AEP's normal power service agreement provides, so about $3,000 worth of additional work that is needed to provide that power service.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1330. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1331, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Discussion.
We had 5 permit applications this round, nothing out of the ordinary, and so we're recommending approval.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1331. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1332, in the matter of declaring the necessity for improvements to Stites Road north of Home Road, extending south of intersection with Hyatt's Road, and approving an agreement with engineering services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
We are proposing to initiate a project to widen Stites Road between Home Road and Hyatt's Road. This would involve widening the pavement, rebuilding the ditches, and then also doing some drainage work to find a drainage outlet for all the. This is basically on the divide of the watershed, so it doesn't seem very complicated, but actually finding a spot to drain that area is rather difficult. So basically what this resolution does is declare necessity for the improvements. It's about a 1 mile long section of road we're proposing to improve. If you're familiar with that, there's an S-curve on that section of road that does need upgraded given all the new development that will be occurring in that area over the next 5 years or so. So we have selected a consultant, Trans Associates, through a qualifications-based selection process, and have negotiated a fee which we feel is fair to do the work, and so that's what you have before you.
Ben, what kind of cost estimate do you have on this project, Rob?
The construction cost estimate is around $3 million.
And what's the timeline for this?
We're looking at, I believe, 2022 or 2023 construction on this, still several years out, but it will take some time to get the engineering done, and then there's a number of properties that will have to be, right-of-way parcels that will have to be acquired for this as well.
That's in the $3 million.
That is not in the $3 million. That is, the $3 million is only the construction cost.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1332. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1333, in the matter of accepting roads, approving recommended speed limits, releasing sureties, and establishing stop conditions for North Farm, Section 6 and 11, 1 and 3, and 7A, Brookview Manor, Section 1, and Liberty Trace, Section 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
All of the streets and stormwater improvements for these subdivisions were completed in 2016 and have been through the one-year developer maintenance period, serving a total of, looks like 98 lots in North Farms, 28 lots in Brookview Manor, and 36 in Liberty Trace. So a pretty good chunk of lots we're seeing these streets come in and being taken over by the township. So we are recommending approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1333. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1334, in the matter of approving a ditch maintenance petition and ditch maintenance assessments for courtyards at Muirfield Village.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is a 61-unit condo development off of Manley Road in Concord Township. And so this action would place the drainage improvements on the county system. We recommend approval.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1334. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Resolution number 17-1335, in the matter of approving the year 2018 appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Cy Kelly, Deputy Administrator. Before you have the recommended appropriation requests for approval, I would also like to point out that in this request, we are recommending 3% increases for all non-union employees. The general fund request of $100.6 million is a 2.33% increase from the current year, and I recommend your approval.
Okay. Comments, questions?
I don't know, I guess you feel some obligation to comment when you're talking about something that's
Yeah,
budget.
this is-
As usual, a lot of time went into this, the directors, the elected officials, and it required some adjustments. And I want to thank Cy for the work he puts into this, because he runs it, ties all the loose ends together, makes this possible, and I think it's a workable budget. And but I do encourage everyone to be aware. It is we had to make some serious cuts, and it's going to take some understanding and support from all of us to make it work. So and we still have some things that lie before us, such as the courthouse remodel that really is not in this budget. So I hope everybody understands that and everybody works together. We'll have another successful year. That's all I have.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Cy and Karen for all their hard work, and all the directors and everyone who participated. It's certainly a very fiscally sound budget, and glad to vote to approve in a moment.
Yeah, I guess I would echo those comments. I think it is a fiscally conservative budget. One important principle is that when times are good, you don't go crazy spending, increasing your spending base, and I think this accomplishes that. We're in good times. There's a relatively modest increase of a little over 2% in overall spending. Because if you can maintain restraints in good times, whenever the downturns come, it's a whole lot easier to manage through the downturn, and we know they'll come. It's just inevitable. So again, I want to thank all the department heads, the elected office holders for their work with us to maintain that philosophy. And as Cy mentioned, the general fund is not increasing significantly, a little over 2%. We do not have the election equipment in there, which is a major issue to be addressed in the next year or two. And there's a lot of conversation going on at the State House regarding funding some or all of that, and exactly when that's going to be done. So we know we need it, and we appreciate the Board of Elections and their team working with us, because it's a big ticket, and we will address it in the next year or two. Interestingly, all the funds, when you add them all up, all the funds spending is actually down. A lot of that, and it's down significantly. A lot of that is because we aren't building another courthouse. So that's good in terms of spending.
If we were up, I'd still be a problem, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So again, and the rest of the other funds that aren't in the general fund, I want to compliment them as well. There are some staff reductions going on in various areas. Jobs and Family Services is the one that stands out. They're reducing staff significantly because their workload has gone down. And I really compliment Director Dombrowski for taking that initiative. and it's a compliment that their workload is going down. You know, it means they're doing a good job, and then also that he recognizes it and was able to reduce it. Some other areas did the same thing, and I think we've tightened up on vacancies as well, and budget to fill all those. So, again, want to compliment everyone. I think it is a big effort, and in this budget is fiscally sound, and so I will vote to approve it. So, any other comments? Any other? Yeah.
I would also like to thank Karen for her hard work on this.
Yes.
She did the majority of the grunt work on this.
Her first one, too.
Her first one, I just assisted with.
So we don't give you any credit, give it all to her?
Give it to her.
All right. Well, thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Good work. And I really appreciate the forecast. You know, for the first time, I think we saw a good update of the forecast, which is a late in the year update of where the year is actually going to turn out. And we didn't just compare 2018 budget to 2017 budget, but to 2017, the way it actually is going to turn out. And so that was a huge step forward to have those numbers available as well.
I do have one last comment. Cy is not a person with a lot of words, and he should take a little credit.
Oh, sure.
You had a significant challenge in trying to get the numbers to work, and you always do that with diplomacy and a way that I think everybody understands and trusts because of who you are and how you conduct yourself. And I don't think we should take anything away from Karen, but I think you should also get your fair share of the accolades. Thank you.
Yep, agree. It was a team effort for Cy and Karen and then all the department heads elections. And again, I think we've built a good degree of trust with the elected officials and department heads that if something significantly changes, we're willing to listen, you know, and we appreciate them recognizing that and still maintaining conservative budgets. So, okay. Any other comments? We will take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-1335. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Cy.
That brings us to our next item, a tribute to Finance Authority Board Member Kevin Hennessy's service.
Yep. We need a resolution on that?
No. We can just read the
There it is.
tribute out
Okay.
loud.
All right. Don't need a resolution. But as we mentioned last week, when we appointed Kent Schaefer to the seat on the Finance Authority, we did want to thank Kevin Hennessy for his service on that board. That board has taken a huge step forward in terms of activity and assistance in economic development in Central Ohio or Delaware County. And so I wanted to just read this tribute real quickly. Kevin is not here today, but we will get this to him. But again, I do want him to know that the commissioners really appreciate his efforts, because when he started, the board was very inactive, and when he's leaving, the board is very active, doing a lot of positive things for Delaware County. I'll read it. It's short. Be it hereby known to all that Jeff Benton, Gary Merrill, and Barb Lewis, commissioners of Delaware County, extend their sincerest gratitude to Kevin Hennessy for his willingness to serve on the Delaware County Finance Authority Board, his dedication to the board for the past 4 years, and the expertise he has given so freely. Commissioner Benton, Commissioner Merrill, and Commissioner Lewis thank and honor Kevin Hennessy, presented on this 18th day of December 2017 by order of the commissioners. So again, thanks to Kevin for helping to make that a really viable organization that's helping Delaware County.
Yes.
So, with that,
Administrator reports.
administrator reports?
I have nothing.
Commissioner reports.
Commissioner Merrill.
Just a couple of things. I went to the CAUV meeting that George Costa handled last Thursday night. I was kind of curious how that would go, and I was a little interested in the topic. And there were, I gave a rough count, somewhere between 140 and 150 people in the room. It was full. It was standing room only, and it just shows how important this is to what I consider, 1/3 of our county roughly is rural. Really acreage-wise it's more than that, but the northern third of our county we kind of look at as our agricultural area, and the middle third more middle class, and then of course the southern part. And those were really the three distinct areas, but it's extremely well intended. It's a topic that is extremely important to the agricultural farmer community, and they were there to learn more about it. And George, as George always does, did an excellent job of presenting the material, and so I just passed that along, and then, of course, Commissioner Benton and I, we were at Morpsey last Thursday, and that meeting went well and went a little long.
It did go long.
So Mercedes, that meeting came right on schedule,
Right.
and it got a little long, so,
They have it down to the minute, but the beginning speakers went long.
yeah. And that's all I have.
Okay.
I have nothing.
All right. Just a couple of things. Again, that's remarkable, well over 100. So.
At least 140, could have been as many as 150.
Yeah, and again, I've been aware of that and helping to work on it a little bit in the CCAO Finance Committee, but it really is a much more fair way of valuing agricultural land for taxation purposes, and the State House changed the formulas, and it is much more fair, so it's good to see, and glad to see that they're taking time to dive into it and understand it. At Morpsey, they did talk about, we had a presentation on the new airport renovations, which were fascinating. I think the number was $2 billion.
I told my wife, I showed that literature, she says, I thought they just finished a remodeling.
So did I.
It's a constant work in progress.
Yeah, this is the brochure they handed out, but they're talking about $2 billion, I think, over 20 years or something like that. It's a long-term, complete renovation.
There's a trigger date based on
Passengers?
passengers. I think they're projecting like 2027, something like that, is that the trigger?
Right, in 25 years or whenever, it'll be completely different from what we know it to be today. And that's got to help. I mean, I think one of probably the not that we have many, but one of the more difficult challenges is our air service out of Columbus. When we're trying to attract larger businesses, new businesses, is that we do not have the air service that we wish we had, and this will go a long ways toward solving that issue. So again, stay tuned. It's a significant investment for the region. DKNM, we have a board meeting tomorrow. SourcePoint has their annual meeting luncheon on Wednesday. That's always interesting and good. Great community partners. So that is it. I think we have a need for a lot of executive session.
Resolution number 17-1336, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment compensation of a public employee or public official, to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, for pending or imminent litigation, for collective bargaining, and for confidential information related to economic development.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1336. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session.